Good day, good day. Thank you again for joining us for this, the 108th episode of the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. Special welcome to those joining us live. Remember, you may send your comments at any time to us. And also, remember, please, that this podcast will be available to you on the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast YouTube channel after this live broadcast. Desmond Richards, Winnie Anderson Brown, and Mary White are with us today. We must start by expressing condolences to the family and friends of Hubert Lawrence, an incredibly knowledgeable track and field analyst and commentator, a man of great humility. Let's go around the room now to preview the issues that you're going to hear here today. Desmond, tell us what you are up about.
I am going to be talking about landlessness and how the constitutional reform that we are talking about should include that as part of its agenda, and the local government elections.
Okay. Winnie.
Well, today I am going to look at the dilemma of the uncommitted voter.
Wonderful. Mary.
While our other panelists will be talking about painting your finger in this upcoming election, I will be looking at painting my face, sharing my beauty routine right here on set, my 3-minute makeup makeover to look naturally beautiful. So stay tuned. I have all the things, you don't want to miss it. What I do to look like 23.
Wow. And that's about women or men as well, Mary.
I was doing it for the women, but the men should stay tuned because they do need to look not so rough sometimes.
Not so rough this month. Okay, so let's start with Winnie.
Okay.
Winnie, your turn.
Yes. When I think of the uncommitted voter, I am thinking of someone who is not aligned to the PNP or JLP. I'm not just talking about those persons who are activists or people who are members of the party. Those persons, they know exactly what they are going to do. But for those persons who are looking on and saying, I think voting is extremely important, I want to vote, but I am not sure which party I should vote for because I don't like how any of them operate. Now that voter has a real challenge.
But hold on a minute, Winnie. You start off by suggesting that that voter is better or smarter than the PNP and JLP diehards, or what?
No, what I'm saying is this voter is just not committed. So I defined what I mean by not committed. They're not a part of the JLP or the PNP. And there are a number of people in Jamaica like that. And that is why that slice of the pie is a huge slice that the JLP and the PNP reach for from time to time. So it is important to understand the challenges that these people face. Because when you look at the parties, if you don't like any of them, or you're not happy with if you don't like any, but you're happy with the person that is representing one of the parties, then your troubles are over. You can always vote for that person that you are happy with the work that that person is doing. What if you do not like the work that any of them is doing? What do you do? I am suggesting that the best thing to do is to decide to cast a vote, because if you don't cast a vote, you're casting a vote for the winning candidate. And I must make sure that I point out that in the Tollgate division in Clarendon, the last local government election, that councillor won by 1 vote. So
Yes, that was an exceptional situation. Councillor winning by 1 vote.
yes, so it can happen again. It happened once, as far as I know. It can happen again. So it is important to cast a vote. What about
when you vote, you are not? Are you unpatriotic or not? How do you see that?
I have a challenge in saying whether you are or you are not. There are some people, because it is really a dilemma. There are those people who have the opportunity of voting for an independent candidate. And there are, the last time I checked, which was 2 days ago, I realized that there are 4 registered parties in Jamaica. The JLP, and PNP, we all know, but there is a JPP, the Jamaica Progressive Party, and you have the UIC, that's the United Independent Congress. So some people, they're not all across the island. So those who are in areas where these third parties are, they can vote for that candidate. So they have a choice as well. So I know it's a real dilemma, but I am saying don't stay home. Just choose one of them so that at least you can feel comfortable that you have done something as far as local government elections are concerned.
Go out there and vote. Desmond, I give you a 30-second response to that. I know you have been jumping.
I am listening keenly, and I don't hear the dilemma that Winnie is talking about. The vote in Jamaica. Some people are seeing the ability to vote in Jamaica different from what it is. The vote in Jamaica is the authority given to the citizen to elect a government. We must remember how we got this vote, Remember that at one time in Jamaica, if you were not a property owner or some white Jamaican, you couldn't vote. And therefore, when we got this authority in in order for us to vote in 1940, it was for us to elect a government. That is what you are supposed to vote for. To elect a government. It's not to elect a personality. So therefore, I don't see the dilemma that voters supposed to face.
Really quick
they
response.
must decide.
Well, although
Desmond, finish your point and then sorry, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Desmond, just finish that point and let Winnie jump in. Quick response.
No, so I think voters should exercise the authority they have to elect a government that they will look about their affairs and the affairs of the country.
All right, Winnie,
So-
your quick
so
response
what
before
if
we
you-
move on.
What if you don't think any of them will? They will look after their own interests. That is a real dilemma. You want to vote, but you don't trust any of these to do what needs to be done.
Okay, I want to take it up from there before we come back around to Desmond and his matter. I want to take it up from there regarding local government elections. But before I talk about signs, road signs, street signs, I want to mention a couple of things with regard. People remember, there are 2.1 million Jamaicans registered to vote. The prognosis is, the predictions are, that somewhere between 35 and 40% will vote tomorrow. Each individual out there can contribute to that number. Even if 35 to 40% vote, that will be significantly higher than the last local government election, which was 30% in 2016, 30.7%, and could be as high or higher than the 37.5%, 0.6% that voted in the general elections. So we can make a difference each person. I'm reminding everybody that the polls open at 7 and close at 5. And at 5, if you are in the line at a polling station, you will still get the opportunity to vote. I'm reminding everybody that you may vote without your voter ID. They will go through a series of steps at a polling location, and that you can find out, and Joshua will put on the screen shortly, you can find out which polling division, which polling station you are going to vote at. It is also to remind everybody that workers or employees should get 3 hours off tomorrow to vote. Once you don't start working at 10 o'clock or after 10 o'clock, you are supposed to get that 3 hours. Or once you don't end by 2 or a little after. So that's the point. You will get some time to go and vote. You are entitled to 3 hours to vote. And nobody can ask you, are you sure you're going to vote? Or who you should be voting for, etc. I want to mention very briefly the matter of signs, and I call them signs of the times. Because all over Jamaica, we know that there's a lack of street signs. You go to some areas, there are very few street signs. Don't talk about road signs where they're doing the work, or just signs indicating that there's danger here. Those are almost non-existent. Street signs, road signs. Many people don't know that the parish council, the municipal corporations are responsible for those signs on the minor roads. We almost have none of them. You go through some communities, you go through some areas, whole areas, you see none of these signs. Do you remember that once upon a time, you would see, and some of them are still there, they're overgrown in some places, they're knocked over in some places. You used to see concrete signs marking number of miles, 10 miles and so on, from one community to the next. Now many of those are gone. You used to have finger posts at some major intersections. Municipal corporations are responsible for street signs. They're supposed to see to it that developers in the communities that are come on the park are handed over to parish councils, put up street signs. Last week I was over in Portmore, big community by Jamaican standards, over in the greater Portmore area. 3 East, 4 East, whatever they call the communities. No signage, no street signs. You have to stop and ask people where you are. GPS will help you in some regards. Why can't we have some self-regard as Jamaicans and get street signs up? They are the work of parish councils for whom we're going to be voting tomorrow. Mainly. They are the NAA, some of them too. All across the country. A friend of mine from overseas, a Jamaican who lives overseas now, said that this is so because many Jamaicans can't read. Hogwash. It's not true. It's disregard for Jamaicans. It's disregard for our people. Not to put up signs so you can't say, oh, go down to so and so and look on the street, turn left, turn right. It's a shame that we continue it. It's a small matter, but it's a big part of whether we regard ourselves and what these parish council people are supposed to be doing. And not even to speak about the NAA. And it's something that we can do and deal with.
May I, Franklin? My area is a prime example of signs being up. The 2 councillors worked very hard, and some signs are where they shouldn't even be. But there are many signs in my area. Once you turn,
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And what area we're talking about, Winnie? We
are talking about from Rock to Ashley. I can tell you.
In Clarendon. Sure. In Clarendon.
Yes, in Clarendon. Yes. Okay. Many signs.
Beautiful. Thank you. Desmond, tell us about, you have a lot of signs in your area too, and then you go on quickly to your matter you want to take up.
No, I I'm just like you. The signs in the corporate area are partially non-existent, and that is an example of the municipal authority not doing its job. So going forward, these are some of the things that we are going to be asking and requiring and demanding the councillors. Councillors who are going to be elected tomorrow, they must know that it will not be business as usual. They have
Absolutely.
work to do.
I join with you on that, Desmond. And we're going to raise those issues and just not for the period right now.
Yes.
With you. Now to your issue, Desmond.
Well, one of the things I would want to put on the parish councillors' table is that they must take up an interest in the constitutional reform debate that is taking place. And I would like them to focus on landlessness. Landlessness has been with the black people in Jamaica since 1838. You'll recall we were told to leave the plantations and go where? We had nowhere to go. And that is where squatting starts. And today in Jamaica, there's close to 1 million black people who are squatting. Now, I would want the constitutional debate to advance this argument that landlessness must be a part of the constitution, the new constitution, the Jamaicanized constitution. We want the government to use crown property and make crown property available to black Jamaicans so that we can get economic independence.
So where
right?
are you going to stick that? You want that to be put in the constitution that what?
Yes,
everybody must get some free land?
That not free land, That no, I want the constitution that land, that the people must have access to land. Yes. They must now can you imagine when you look at what happened? The entire British Caribbean and the Americas, can you imagine if the ex-slaves were given land, what would be the state of the economies in these parts today? The slaves in America, they were promised 40 acres and a mule. They got nothing. Those in the British Caribbean, nothing, right? And that is where what you find today, that economic independence has eluded the vast majority of black people in the British Caribbean and the Americas. That we want that to be adjusted and settled in the constitutional debate that is coming up.
Fair enough. You're not giving that as any putting that on the agenda of councillors though, because I can hardly see how the councillors will be able to do anything with that except
what I want the councillors to do is to get involved in the debate. Right now, what is happening for the constitutional reform is a joke, It's a joke because the vast majority of the people are not involved, right? And therefore, the councillors must get involved in the debate to organize the people, organize their constituents, so that they are educated as to what is required of them and what we must do and what we must ask for. That is what I want the councillors to do.
All right, sir. Thank you. Mary, you have a response to that? You care about landlessness, Mary, before you go on to tell
No, sir, Mark. No comment.
You have no comment. Okay.
Yes.
Your time now on makeup. I think last week when you spoke about makeup, Desmond Richards was asked you to go to I think you said it was from in the Bible, and Desmond said no such thing in the Bible, or challenge you to go and check out the Bible. So you got some time.
And we have done that, and I thank Brother Desmond for that, because I could see where he's coming from, where the scriptures do have positive and negative things sometimes in the same line about women looking comely or their countenance looking fair. or adorning of themselves. Like
And
the
comely means
famous
fair?
scripture in 1 Peter 3 speaks
Comely
about
means
let it not
fair.
be.
I want Mary. I want to know if comely means fair and fair mean light skinned.
No.
Fair
No.
means beautiful to look upon.
Okay,
A
all
woman
right.
who is beautiful.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
So, 1 Peter 3, it talks about the let it not be the outward adorning of the platinum of the ear and the wearing of the gold and the putting on of the apparel. And some people just take that to mean those things are X by the Lord, don't wear them. When you go back to the Old Testament, you see 2 Kings talking about the story of the death of Jezebel, speaks about when she heard that the prophets were coming, she decked herself and painted her face and her eyelids, and she went out, and that was the death of Jezebel right there. But when you go to Jeremiah, you will also see talking about the painting of the face and the wearing of ornaments and all of those things to make you look fair. And in that chapter, the Bible says you do all of these things, you're making yourself look fair, in beautiful, in vain, because it comes back to 1 Peter. If you have the outward and you're looking good, but you don't have this inner spiritual beauty to back up the outward beauty, then you're just making yourself fair in vain. So today I'm going to make myself fair, beautiful, with my makeup routine, so you guys can continue to talk. I'm just going to do a very light 3-minute routine with a foundation, a powder, a little lip gloss, something for the eye, and something for the eyebrows. So you guys can have your conversation, and when we come back, the viewers will be able to see. This is the before out of the shower look. The viewers will be able to see the makeup look and see the difference before and after.
Okay, in other words, you're going to do a little makeup on yourself.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so how much time do you want?
It's supposed to be a 3-minute routine. I have
Yes.
already done the moisturizer.
Okay, so you're going to do
first.
it right before our eyes. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm going to do it right
Of course.
now.
All right. Well, you can get started in about 20 seconds. I just want to ask Desmond.
Yes.
Desmond, are you convinced about the biblical quotations, references that Mary gave you there?
Well, you heard all the references made that the makeup was in vain, right?
That's the part we hear, Brother Desmond.
The makeup was in vain as far as spirituality is concerned, but not for the outward appearance.
Absolutely, Winnie. God wants a total beauty inside out.
Right. It's not one or the other.
Yes.
Okay. So Mary, sorry, Desmond, you are saying? Did I cut you off?
No, I am saying that this thing about makeup is a modern invention.
No.
It is in the Old Testament, Brother D.
It is a modern invention, and it is something that has been introduced by the manufacturers of these all these beauty products.
It's a
right?
whole big industry, Desmond. It's billions of dollars.
It is a multi-million. It is a multi-million dollar industry.
Multi-billion.
Yes, and that is those are the ones who are promoting this industry and making it look as if,
because we realize the before and after effects. So it's not like it's
all right, Mary, you're going to have 1 minute more. So tell us what you've been doing there. Why are you doing all of this powdering? Why are you doing all of this?
It's only like $200, but $1 million transformation is what you get.
So tell us what you have done so far, Mary. There are lots of young, there are people, and by the way, when you finish, you're going to have to go and look at what some of our viewers are coming in, because we have a couple of viewers who are saying some things, and
yes, I'll look at them soon.
Right. So Mary, what you doing? Tell us what you're doing there.
So I put on something, because the oily face look, Sir Mac, is one of the things that make us look popped down and aged, even when we're
oily face look.
Yes, the oily face look is a no-no, right? You want to cool your face down first. And for me, I just use a simple pressed powder, and then I back it up with a translucent powder. So this side I've put both, while this side I've put only one. just the translucent for those people who want to go more natural than, you know, the brown powder. And I've put on my lipstick so far, so I know you're seeing the transformation already. And then no, you can't mascara everything. It's worth like $1,000, but like $2 billion.
But Mary, aging is a natural process, you know. Aging is a natural process.
Oh, we don't want to be told till we are like 300 years old, Brother D. We want to bat it off till we're like 300.
But I really want to say that Desmond is wrong. The modern industry, they have modernized makeup, but it has been around from way back when.
Okay.
They have modernized it.
Desmond, you can't turn back time, you know. I mean, you have to accept that time marches forward, as you are saying, with age. And the makeup business has been there for a while. Mary, I heard you saying before we started the show that men use makeup too?
Yes, they do. Because
apart from for studio work and so on and television work.
Yes, because and just those men that are conscious about their look, especially if they're in positions where they have to meet and talk to people all the time. And so they have to be conscious about not looking oily. Because once you look oily, you know, you have so fear to look upon, even as a man.
When you are talking, it's not how you look make it make sense. It's what you are saying.
But here they said that a picture speaks a thousand words. People judge you before the first word come out of your mouth, Brother Desmond.
Yes. But listen. It is your intellectual ability to express yourself.
Mary, 30 seconds to finish making your point.
Is that my made over look, Sir Matt? Brother D?
Yes.
Do you see my made over look?
Yes, and if Joshua brings you up on the screen,
come Joshua, bring it up on the screen so the people can see it.
Everybody will see you.
Yes, come Joshua.
But that's a quick makeover, Mary.
So
the makeup normally
takes. This side has 2 coats. This side has a pressed powder as well as the translucent powder, while this side only has the translucent powder. But any side you choose, you're looking naturally cool and beautiful. Yes. And all of this will cost a woman like say $5,000, but it's like it's priceless the way you look.
It's priceless, but you don't put in the hairstyle yet because you have the hairstyle there already.
People receive you with more grace and more favor because you look attractive before you open your mouth. Shalom.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Mary, can you look on the comments that you're coming in because you have a few comments coming in there.
Let's see.
But
all right, so we have Owen who was on before. Hi, Owen. Owen Richards, that is.
I want to tell men that
Desmond, hold on, man. Let's get the comments of the people in there, even 2 of them before we move on.
And we have Rubian, we have Philippa, we have Ron.
But you're not saying what they're saying, man.
Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? And they're saying hi and hi to the team, but they're on with us and they're listening. So, guys, please post your comments on any of the issues we're talking about, especially as a few ladies.
All right, and thank you guys for coming in. And you can still post the comments on Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast YouTube channel. We want to thank you all, Mary, Winnie, Desmond, and thanks particularly to Joshua Black Media Services. Joshua anchored this for us. We are sorry we didn't get more time to take on Mary's makeup. You can try it if you like. You can short the makeup kit if you like, guys. You can do whatever you like. Go out and vote tomorrow if you have a vote, please. They used to say in a particular country, vote early, vote often. No, we don't say that. We just say vote early, vote once. I'm Franklin McKnight. We want to thank you. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for joining us on this Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast.
Thanks.
Thank you all, guys.